Hello, everyone. We are indeed live in the right place because I see my comment.
Yep. All right. Here we go.
I don't know what's going on with some things, but literally we were having problems with our camera not working properly, and then it said we were live, but we weren't live.
Yeah, it was weird, and
So
yeah.
our apologies for coming on a little bit late, but welcome.
Yes.
Welcome
Yes.
to the Positivity Circle, where sometimes things go wrong in life and you take a deep breath and you do something to fix it, and then things seem to be okay. Like I tried fixing the camera, nothing worked. Nothing's wrong.
And everything was in slow motion like a robot on our side, and so it looked like really weird. So
Right? I just think that everything needed to be restarted. And sometimes I feel like I need a restart. So this positivity circle that we've been doing, if you're new, welcome. If you've been here around a while, you know what to expect. We're here with Sangeeta, who is just amazing, and it's just such a pleasure to have you on the show always. But you're such a wealth of knowledge and common sense and wisdom. Like sometimes you say something to me, I'm like, I know that, but why does it feel different when Sangeeta says it? Right? So why don't you introduce a little bit about yourself and maybe talk about the Positivity Circle and how it started out, and I'll go ahead and put it over to you.
Yes. Hello everyone, welcome. So I am Sangeeta. If you are new, special welcome. Uh, so this positivity circle idea came to me after pandemic because the activities that we were all doing before that were no longer happening. It had to be a start from scratch again, and I was struggling due to lack of connections, lack of in-person contacts, and so I started positivity circle at my home. And first I thought no one would come, but month after month people kept coming, and so I kept doing it. And one time at Thanksgiving I met Kathy, and I was actually going to invite her to my in-person circle because we live in the same town, but instead she invited me to do it online with her, and I wasn't sure how it will work out, but it's been working out. This is Kathy and Cheryl. This is our seventh circle.
yeah.
We started in December.
It's kind of crazy, right? I feel like it's just gone by so fast.
Okay, now one issue I see is we're not online on my channel. Maybe that's okay. Um,
Oh no.
I said,
I think Restream is breaking.
yeah.
yeah, yeah, but
I'm
that's
so,
fine. Let's just continue. It's fine.
but you know what I'll
It's
do? No, I don't think. Let me see if I can go to your channel if I can and put it and like share it somewhere. I will.
okay. That's fine. Let's continue. So, uh, can we get a poll, if it's not too much, to see how many people have been to this circle before and who are first timers today?
Yeah. Drop a line into the chat, y'all, and let us know.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm adding a poll.
Oh, Kathy's adding a poll. We're
Have
gonna
you
do
been
it.
to one of these before? Yes or
It's,
no?
It's an official.
That's why I have my computer here. I can do much more things with that.
All right. So Kathy's putting a poll in.
And I'll give you guys a while to answer before I end it. And it is crazy though, isn't it, to think this is the seventh one?
It is. It is.
It is.
Let me. Oh.
And it's been a year and a half for my in-person, and I just had one this
Nice.
past weekend. Do I get to
Okay.
see the poll?
It's only in the YouTube chat.
Oh,
Like
okay.
in the, so it's like a
I
thing,
see.
and I can't see the whole chat. Right now it's at 43% yes, 57% no out of 7 votes.
Okay. All
So go
right.
ahead and
So
put your vote
welcome.
in.
Yeah. Welcome everyone who is new or been here before. So I usually start with my thoughts. So thoughts for this month. I have had a rough month. If you were here last month, the war between my home country India and Pakistan was just starting. Like I had just read the news an hour ago. And then um, the thoughts came to my mind, and the anxiety I had with that war going on, it was something that I have never experienced before, honestly. Luckily, the war ended quickly. They decided to de escalate very, very quickly in a few days. But that was enough to like raise my anxiety level to an unprecedented proportion, actually. And so I worked on it myself, and then as the war kind of de escalated, I had a time to breathe and I analyzed that the, the thought process and the way I coped with it. I analyzed that and I made a video about that, and that's the one that Kathy and Cheryl, if you don't mind, the one link that I emailed, um, if you don't mind putting that in the chat, that would, if anyone wants to know how I coped with that kind of a stress, um, at your leisure, you can go through that video later. But with that experience, the thought of the topic for today I'm going to talk about is unburden yourself. There are so many burdens we carry, and they, in these times, particularly during conflicts, even if we have to have a conflict or that we have no control over, even we think that the war is justified, the conflict is justified, even then, in that situation, we must unburden ourselves from the hate, because hate is an additional burden to the conflict and it does not solve anything. And you can say, oh, we are right, we are wrong. I have to admit that I didn't want my country to lose. Very, very basic, fundamental instinct. But at the same time, I was very conscious about not carrying the burden of hate on my shoulder. That made me think about it in our daily life. How many burdens we are carrying. You know, these conflicts started before I was even born. And no matter what I do, what I say, it is not very likely that this conflict will resolve anytime soon. So, why am I carrying this burden? I do have empathy, I do want justice, I do want peace, but I don't want to carry the burden of all of that on my shoulder. And not all problems are for me to solve. There is never going to be a point where everything is fine. There we have a huge population in the world. There will always be conflict, and the conflicts on the land are also fought online, and then people try to draft you in their battle. And we have to be very conscious about wanting peace, wanting justice, but not fighting the battle. Now, that's an extreme situation, but in our daily lives, also, we carry unnecessary burdens and baggages that we have picked up along the way and forgot to put them down. That could be some argument we had with somebody, or It could be something online, online subscriptions that take our time, our money. That's a burden. So sometimes we have to unsubscribe, undraft, unburden ourselves. So with that, I would invite everyone's comment. Have you been in that situation? Have you thought about it before, or have you any suggestions?
So that was one of the things that I think we talked about similar after election stuff, where we can only, worry or concern ourselves with the things that we can control, and things that we don't have control of, we need to kind of, I'm not saying don't care about it, but we have to understand and relinquish some of that control over us, and continue to live our lives and things without having that burden of trying to fix a situation that we really don't have the ability to fix.
Yeah, yes, and that's a part of self care. If we don't preserve ourselves, we're going to burn out.
Yeah. And I think you even burn out faster. Like there's sometimes I made a mistake, maybe I'm not letting go of it, but it's correctable within a period of time versus something like a war or politics, which I can't change in a decent amount of time personally, right? It's one thing if, well, I need to do the laundry. Maybe I can do something about that, but like I can't change the president or stop a war. I certainly wish I could stop a war. And so I think that you burn out so much faster when you're just it's kind of like if you have a grindstone and you're honing a knife, you're just doing it little by little. But if you just keep pushing that knife and you hold it there for a month, there's not going to be a knife left.
Yeah, and at that time, we may be ignoring something that we do have a control over, that we can improve, whether it is for ourselves, for our family, or for our community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly.
And when you are putting so much energy into fighting the unchangeable or trying to change, I think back to when I was young and dating people, I can change them, and how I can see how fruitless it is now. But I don't always take that same life lesson and put it on things that are just as unchangeable.
Right.
And it does make you focus in on this, have this tunnel vision on this thing you can't do anything about, instead of coming back and going, oh, my neighbor isn't feeling very well. Maybe I'll bring her packages in to her door today.
Absolutely.
You guys are being quiet.
So quiet
Please,
today.
please tell us. We want to hear from you and what your stuff is too.
That's right.
People have said hello, hello Judy. Hi TLS. Hello Terry.
Yeah. And so basically, too, for you guys who are new, because it looks like about 60% are new, is that the point of this is really just to kind of, to me, this is how my opinion of it is. I get really honed in on something and I don't even notice I do. And then we sit down and talk, and I say this every time. Every time at the end, I'm like, oh, I can't believe how much better I feel every single time, because I'm stuck in my little hole, and this reminds me to come back out, look around, and think about options and things. So it's okay to be here if you had a crappy day, if you had a great day, it's all okay, because it's all part of life. And I just want to kind of reassure all of you who might feel like you might say the wrong thing.
You will not.
I'm sure I will. I'll take care of that for you.
Yeah, And also, by the end of this session, we hope, and that every time it happens, at least to me, that we end the session in a feeling calm, peaceful, positive, with an intention for
Yes.
the action. So stick around with us.
Yes, the end is the best part. It's like a yoga class. I always like it's the end of yoga that always makes you forget all the parts that you really didn't want to be there for. The parts I struggle through. Not that my yoga teacher ever came up to me and going, it's not okay to hate standing poses. Like, okay. Well, I think I'm trying to. I'm just I'm in a listening mode, so it's hard for me to formulate.
Okay, no, fine. You just mentioned yoga. So, uh, something I have noticed that when the Western people follow yoga, they skip the chanting that comes with it. And the chants are important in a way, not just because they, it has an effect, but it also guides you through the practice. And if you look on my channel, I just made a video on how the sun salutation chant guides you through the practice. It helps you with the pace of the practice. It helps you with balancing the practice, and it also at the simultaneously it's also helping you with counting your salutations. So I would encourage everyone to not skip the chanting if a chant is available for that particular exercise.
Yes, that's very interesting because I studied with a Western teacher who also did dance and other things combined. So it was not traditional yoga at all. And Joanne Johnson says, yes, yoga is more than the asana. And you talk
Absolutely.
about that.
Yes, yes, absolutely. That's just the poses are just one part of it, uh, but there is so much more to it. Um, all right, so we are. If we had started on time, we would have been about at half time right now. Um, so should we begin our ritual of positivity?
Of
Yes.
So
course.
the image goes first, please.
All right.
Great. So it helps to take this perspective. We, Sometimes we get into the weeds and get frustrated and forget about this picture. So it helps to have this at the center of our perspective. Let us remind ourselves that we are the voyagers of an unknown journey on our spaceship, the Earth. It is a journey from one unknown to another. Nothing stays the same, not even the stars or the galaxies. The journey is not easy. It comes with struggles and hardships. The only way to get through it is to hold each other's hand. Let us whisper words of courage and kindness. Let us sing the songs of love. Let us be together in this circle. Let us take a couple of minutes of silence. Let us meditate on positivity and unburdening. After the 2 minutes of silence, we will invite everyone to share something positive. So be thinking about that in the next 2 minutes.
cramp.
Okay, I've been talking on mute.
We thought it was us. Literally, we've been like going, oh no, something else is wrong.
You were never muted, by the way.
Which is weird. It actually so
It said it was.
it literally says muted on there. On the two things. I'm so sorry we talked during the silence.
Well, that's okay. You weren't talking, but there was this buzzing sound.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, so I hope everyone was thinking about something positive. Who wants to go first?
And we would love to hear from you guys that are watching, because there are a lot of you watching now.
And if you have something that you would rather not share here, please write it down on a piece of paper, pen and paper, with a pen on a paper.
It's one of those days.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I'm really, one of the things I'm really grateful for and positive is Cheryl and I had a really good conversation this afternoon.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
And so it was something that I did that I knew she wouldn't like, by bringing somebody else in to help us with that conversation. And it worked out really, really well.
Oh, was good.
Yeah.
Was good.
And so we got to communicate more about things that we don't always, because now we're working together as well as living together. So that's new. So sometimes that's a whole new set of things to figure out.
There are definitely some hurdles.
Yes. And you know, I have mixed feelings about doing business with your significant other. You know,
Yeah.
we're talking about unburdening, and that's one additional burden in the relationship.
Yeah.
You have to be very careful with that.
I feel like it's a burden in one hand and it's freedom in the other hand.
Yeah.
So that's how it feels to us right now, too. So I see the good in it, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
Oh yeah. So you know, last month we talked about sowing the seeds and not expecting a specific outcome of sowing the seeds. So um, I think I mentioned that I planted a butterfly bush years ago, and butterfly weed to attract the monarch butterflies. And I've had 1 year I've seen the caterpillars on it, and then past 4 years or so no caterpillars. And this year I've had five just so far.
Oh, wow.
And so it's been so fun. I love watching those caterpillars. And then I even saw actually a monarch. I don't know if it was one of the caterpillars that became the butterfly or it was a completely different butterfly. I've been so happy about it this year. I've had the best season.
Oh.
That's awesome.
And that's a great reminder, too, about also noticing things that are happening now that maybe you started a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would have been disappointed if all these past 3-4 years thinking that I'm not attracting many butterflies. But then I enjoyed the flowers of it. You know, they have such beautiful flowers. So enjoy what you can. And then unexpectedly, when you have these unexpected things happen unexpectedly, then it gives you more pleasure.
It's true. But your eyes have to be open to see them.
That is true.
And so
And
I'm talking to me. I'm not talking to y'all.
you can see those if you are not unnecessarily burdened by other things.
Exactly.
Exactly. And
All
Miss
the
Tam-
roads.
Miss Terry said that she's new to this time, but she's grateful her mother is recuperating from a mini stroke, no brain damage or physical limitations, and I'm so glad for you about
That's so
that.
great, Terry.
That is so great.
Anybody else want to share tonight? Anything positive?
Why?
Yeah.
Why audience?
I know. I wonder if everyone just feels a little tired.
Could be.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me projecting on all of you guys.
Yeah.
But
Well, I guess I can add to the positivity of our stuff.
okay.
So last night on Motivate Your Monday, I talked about how I was having such a hard time sleeping because my brain would not shut off. And, some people suggested we came together as a collective and decided that maybe I needed to put my phone away, either take the phone out of the room. And I said, well, I can't do that because I need my alarm in case my blood sugar was get too low. And they said, well, put it where you can't reach it or something like that. And then we came to the conclusion that I should take my glasses and leave them somewhere else because I can't see my phone without my glasses.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Right? And so last night I did that, and I actually fell to sleep within about 20 minutes of being in there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I was very happy.
That's smart, though. I like that. Apple says, I don't have anything positive to add, so I'm just listening and trying to shift this deep depression I'm in. And I know it's hard.
Yeah, I hope this session will help you. And if this helps you, you can go back to our previous episodes as well. We have been doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And-
and Apple, one thing is that I don't know your situation, but do you have any in person contact with people, with your family, your friends? We have talked about that before.
I know Apple has an active community, but she also has some illnesses, so I'm not sure that she gets to get out as much. She did just get a mobility scooter and was last year, I think it was,
Yeah.
and posted pictures about kind of going around. She lost one of her dear pets.
Oh,
And
that is very hard. That's very hard.
Yeah, and she says no family or friends in person.
Yeah, you
So-
know, human touch is important. There are studies coming out now that human touch, and if not human, then a companion animal touch, or being in the nature, being in the sunlight is important, uh, and it could affect your mood um, negatively if you are deprived of either of these things, in addition to good nutrition.
And I know Apple still has her beloved dog, and yeah. So Apple, let us know what you've been doing. You're showing up here, and that counts for a lot. And you're an
Yeah.
important part of our community, even though it's just virtual.
That's right.
It's-
And we feel like your family. So,
Yeah, really. And let us know if there's something any one of us can do to help, or if you need to talk as well. One anti-venom just kind of came in at a live and said, I'm here, and said, oh no, I'm sorry, I didn't know the topic, didn't mean to be insensitive. You're fine. You're absolutely fine. Joanne says, big hugs and good vibes your way, Apple. So Apple, we're all thinking and sending you the very best energy that we can.
Can we drop a love for Apple? Those who are able to put a comment.
Yeah.
Let's do
That's-
that. Let's give Apple some love right now.
I have to search to find all the hearts. That's what I'm doing.
I can't put a comment. And
No,
I'm
I
not
know.
online on my channel, so I don't know how to do that. Phone.
There we go. Yeah, and one anti-venom, and it's kind of funny because it's not anti as in anti-venom, but one anti-venom, like Uncle Venom, but anti-venom, which is cute. I don't know if you see that. Do you find red light to be a good substitute for those that don't do well in the sun?
Hmm. Hmm. I don't know much about that.
I don't either. I
You
know
used to have some lights.
this was before red lights and collagen producing things existed, but I had some of those seasonal affective disorder lights in my office when I worked in an office, and I would turn it on, and I found that helped a lot with my depression. But sometimes, even for me, just getting out and smelling the air, and even more than that, right now in this season, it's hearing the bugs, hearing the crickets, hearing the frogs. And that gives me I can feel my shoulders drop down. So I could be on the porch, I could be somewhere shaded, hearing rain. In the fall, it's when you're walking and you hear the leaves rattling or a wind.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those things really do a lot for more than it should do for me. They're big. And one anti-venom, so it's the positivity circle. So if you have something maybe you're grateful for that was positive that happened today, this week, this month, this year, go ahead and put it in. It just basically it helps to remind us all, maybe some of us who are in darker places, that positivity is going around all around us.
Yes. And when I first started it, I have to say that the reason I even started it was because it was so hard for me to think that anything was even good in my life. I was at that place and constant anxiety. And so, in the first few sessions, it was very difficult for me to think about something positive. But as the months went by and I continued to host these positivity circles in person, it was kind of a rewiring of my brain. And now I haven't gone to that point where I can't think of anything positive. I, it's like that rewiring has helped me to start thinking about something positive out of every situation. And I've reminded myself that every calamity brings opportunities and the future belongs to those who see it.
That's awesome.
And important, it's important to remember. I think it's so easy for things to I don't know, just to forget, to be caught up in things. Aw, Apple, I'm so sorry. She's
Yeah,
she's
yeah, and
yeah.
Apple, it is. I can tell you that I was at that point. I was like, how could I felt like guilty even thinking positively in that darkness. I thought it's just impossible. And how can we even be positive when there are so many things that are wrong in the world? There is so much injustice. The politics is horrible. I see my friends uh, being denied their rights. How can I be positive? And I was in that. I was in that state of mind that you are. So I completely understand, and it is completely normal. Even I would say, if you let it happen continuously, then it will not help you. So if you think that life should be better, then positivity is one way out of that darkness. And I completely get it. Maybe, hopefully, things will start looking up for you.
And it is true, kind of like what you were saying. Like for me, when I've been in really deep depressions, it just feels like the whole world is blacked out from you, and you feel, at least I felt so separate.
And
Yeah,
when,
and
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
And when you're like that, also then like somebody saying, "Oh, it's going to be okay. Everything's good. You just need to pop out of it. You just need to pop yourself right out of that." And I know that's
No,
That
that's
is
not
that
exactly.
is what makes and that'll just make you angrier, right? Because
that makes
Yeah.
you
you're not getting.
angrier. And the thing that I was saying is that in my in-person circles, it wasn't just me, but in the beginning, also other people who came, we could not think or talk about positive things 5 minutes at a stretch without just, you know, uh, going down that rabbit hole of negative thoughts. And as months went by, we stretched that time from maybe not even 5 minutes to half an hour. And this time I had a completely new person come in, and she was at that place. And again, we experienced that, and nothing to blame, no one is to blame here, but because she was in that stage, it was her first time coming. I felt like that energy was there that was like going in the negative directions. So I had to steer, constantly keep steering towards positive direction. And that's something we can do, help each other. And that's why we have to be in the circle together.
I love that thought too, because like I think sometimes because I am more public, people think I'm always positive, and I try to be really specific about what I do wrong. Like I tried to put the food processor together, and I hadn't done it in a while for the choppy blade. It took me like 15 minutes. I had to look it up. Right? I don't mind being wrong or having to learn again, but I think that sometimes we just see one side of people in the world, and like especially with social media, a lot of times it makes you feel not as good. You're not trying hard, or maybe that I should use me words since I'm around all the counselors, but you know what I mean. It's very easy. So I've worked really hard to not compare myself to other people, because that just brings me sorrow and anxiety and feelings of inadequacy.
Yeah,
Um,
and Kathy, that is one thing, unburden topic, like unburden the comparison with other people. We all are unique. All have our own situations that we are struggling through, um, and what is good for the other people may not be good for us.
Exactly.
Exactly. And Terry saying, I'm glad to be doing things I've been informed of. I watch you guys give these great suggestions and I do nothing with them. I know I can't do all of them, but I'm getting started.
That's fantastic.
And if you
Getting
are all
started.
like me, gathering information counts as starting sometimes too. I just wanted to put that out there. Sometimes you have to call and find out where the yoga classes are before you get to go to one.
Exactly.
One anti-venom says, I have to remind myself only this because I struggle. Anger is a good motivator, but it's not good medicine.
Yeah.
Anger, hate. I mean, those are emotions, and we are going to feel them pass through us as we live our life. It's only natural. But consciously, we should let them pass, not react, and then look at it in the hindsight, whether it was worth getting all worked up about that once that storm is past, or could I have reacted differently. And that gradually we start to shift our mindset by examining our own behavior.
And I just kind of want to come back to one of Apple's comments was she is a retired counselor and therapist. And being in depression yet again is just exhausting. And I can really relate to that in my way by just, I feel like every time I might read the news, it's like another of the same old crazy. And so what I'm doing is reading less news and watching more how to pack YouTube videos. This is what we're on now, or how our best places to stay in London. So, and a lot of you guys are here on YouTube possibly trying to find those positive spaces too. But I found that can kind of help me, because it is hard to sleep if I start reading about war or uncertainty. Like Cheryl knows, it's taken her 20 years, but she knows right before bed is not the time to have a controversial conversation with me, because I will be up. So I have to wind down really carefully. And maybe treat yourself the way you would probably treat someone else who doesn't sleep well if they have controversial conversations.
Yes, and that is again part of unburdening. Unsubscribe, log out, sign out, unburden.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how much I love it when you do that part, the unsubscribe and log out, because I'm like, oh, that's something I should be able to remember for next time, because I am one that can get obsessive thoughts, where it's hard to pull yourself away from it. Mm-hmm. And it is when you do it is like turning it off and going to another direction. Terry says Cheryl's making me laugh because I think she is perfect. See?
You would have thought that if you'd have been in that conversation earlier today.
I don't think anyone was perfect in that conversation earlier today. One Anti-Venom says, yes, the news is a total bummer. It's hard to find balance between staying informed and staying mentally healthy.
Exactly.
Yes.
Which is why this exists. This exists to help with that.
Exactly. I mean, think about it. I said this before. There is not going to be any time in our lifetime when everything is aligned perfectly that matches our expectations from the society. It's never going to happen. Does it mean that we should be always unhappy about life? No, we have a right to be happy. We have a right to celebrate our own existence, because our right to exist and be happy comes from the universe, not from anything else.
And that's an amazing point too. And it is when she was saying it's hard to find a balance between staying informed, and Fergus is saying hello in his own special way. Is that it is, and I think in a way I've almost decided not to stay in as much balance and to find news sources where I feel like it's presented in a way that doesn't make me go into a panic, that doesn't affect me emotionally, that I feel like is good, clear news. And that has helped a little bit. So then I just pop in my email, I read an email or two, and then I know if I can stay in my house or if I can, walk down the street. Was there an accident? Because you do have to have some amount of information, unfortunately. Lydia says she started gardening, is watching gardening YouTube videos, and it's been good for her mental health.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. Gardening, yeah. And the touch of the moist soil is so good.
I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah. Does anyone, have you ever tried walking barefoot?
Yeah, or even just putting your feet barefoot on the ground.
Yeah, or on the mulch, on the lawn. It's like that, that touch of the earth. It is so calming.
It is, and someone was telling me a couple of years ago, they have grounding mats that you can buy that put electricity through if you're not where you can have some ground. So even if you're in New York City, in an apartment or something like that, you can still have something, but if you can get to a little park, I think it
Yeah,
means,
I saw this one person. She lives in a big city, and there is not a place to garden, but she just has a little pot about the size of 1 foot by 6 inches, in which she's just growing grass. And she, when she works, she puts her feet on that.
oh, that's so smart.
That is smart.
That's so smart. And I bet it cost a lot less than that fancy mat.
And it's real grass.
Oh,
That's cool.
Lydia, what's in your garden?
we'll see. It'll take a little minute for her to hear. But yeah, this year I skipped gardening because we're traveling so much. And it's making me a little sad. Although I'm letting the weeds grow in the containers, so I still get to see the lights turn on at night and green. And I'm trying not to know any better.
All right. Anything else anyone wants to share?
Oh, and Apple did say, Sangeeta, thank you. I didn't see that on the other part, so.
I did read it. I just didn't read it out loud. But yes, it's completely understandable where you are, as I have been there.
Oh, this is interesting. Apple always has the most interesting facts. Japan has urban microforests that are about a foot deep against the buildings. You're meant to step up to them and stick your face into the foliage and breathe in deeply.
Wow.
Oh, and Apple likes the sounds of urban microforests.
Yeah, I think that sounds amazing.
Oh, it does. And Terry says she needs gardening tips. What's easy to grow?
What's easy to grow? Where depends on where you are.
That's the trick with gardening, is that you kind of have to find out where your zone is. And usually that matters. It can still be a hotter summer or different things can happen. But you know what's really pretty easy to start with in most places is herbs. I think because you're not trying to produce a flower. Tomato can be kind of a more advanced thing and possible somewhere. Oh, Lydia's been planting pollinator flowers, and that's awesome.
Yeah, if you live in North America, the butterfly bush and butterfly weed, they're super easy. They grow almost everywhere. And they grow quickly, and they are native, and they attract. They have beautiful flowers. They attract butterflies and caterpillars.
Yeah.
And once you plant it, it takes almost no care.
You know what? An herb like that too is oregano. So I actually have 2 different oreganos in my thing, and actually I had caterpillars. I gave up more than half of it, and I'm not sure what kind of butterflies they did, but they made these big, beautiful butterflies.
And mint also is very easy to grow.
Yes,
Oh,
mint.
yes.
Mint, you got to be careful with that one.
Yeah, don't put mint in the ground.
Exactly.
Do not put mint in the ground. Mint has to go in a pot.
It
Is
must
all.
go in a pot. Yeah, otherwise it will take over.
But even if you have a windowsill, you can do a little pot of basil or mint, or if you get some basil or mint from the grocery store, that's kind of, you can strip some of the leaves, cut it a little bit, put it in water. It'll grow roots, and then you can put that in a pot. That I find that over 2020, when the pandemic was happening, I started like doing all this like grocery regrowth, not because I thought the celery was going to give me a big celery, but having a piece of a carrot and letting the greens grow, it just made me feel like something was going to be renewed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even like the lettuce head, if you put it in the water, it will grow in the house.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing if you get green onions. It's right. Green onions are the ones that have the bottom part. Cut off the tops and put the bottoms in a little water, and they'll regrow a new top. So even if you don't have all the teaspoons to make a garden, if you have some green onions and you have one still in there, you could do that and make it really easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and sometimes in the grocery stores they have basil with the roots and a little bit of soil it comes with. Just put that in a pot, and that's what I do.
I have some behind me, and sometimes if you get those, you can even separate the basil plants. I've put them in with all my other stuff, and I ended up with like 20 basil plants for like $3.
Yeah.
It was a really good deal. So I even grew lemon seeds. I just tried to grow a lot of different things. Lydia also has a phobia of spiders, so the gardening is helping her face her fears. Oh, Terry just bought green onions and she wants to try it. That's awesome. To me, that's like the best thing. If I had a child or something, that's a really great way to get the gist.
Yep. That's cool.
You know that touch. We talk about human touch, but it's not just human touch. You know, touching the ground, touching plants, trees, and even when we are cooking, you know, always take some extra time washing my lentils because that, you know, play with the water and the texture of the lentils or beans. You know, it's like a child's play. You know, I play a little bit in that uh, before I actually start cooking.
I like that. And then you get that fresh smell from the water
Yeah.
too. You know, as it cleans, you really get to smell that. One anti-venom is also reminding she finds sprouting very satisfying. All you need is a mason jar, but you can get fancy. And there is something about, especially if you're feeling really depressed. If I'm feeling really depressed, seeing life start, something happening like growing,
Yes.
it reminds me that I can change. I can get bigger than this too. Yeah.
It's good.
This has been great. I never.
Yeah.
Because it's the hope. It gives you the hope.
Yep.
There's the potential and the hope of life. Great.
Yeah.
Very nice. Any other comments? Okay. So our intention for this month is going to be the conscious unburdening. Um, and Kathy, is there anything else? Um, oh, well, I'm glad you stayed here, Terry. Uh, should I start my wrap up routine?
That would
That
be
would
great.
be lovely. That's my favorite part.
It's my favorite part too.
Okay. So I, for those who are new, I always end with Sanskrit chants, and the chants that I pick are peaceful chants. They are not specific to any religion, very universal, generic chants. Uh, so here it is. I have picked three this time. Om Purnamadam Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. It means this is the whole, and the whole universe is infinite. The infinite proceeds from the infinite. Taking the infinitude from the infinite universe, it remains as infinite alone. The next one is ॐ सहना भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै. May we be protected together. May we nourish together. May we work conjointly with great energy. May our study be vigorous and effective, and may we not mutually dispute or hate any. Let there be peace in me. Let there be peace in my environment. Let there be peace in the forces that act on me. And the last one for today. Om Sarvesha Swastirbhavatu Sarvesha Shantirbhavatu Sarvesha Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesha Mangalam Bhavatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May there be well-being in all. May there be peace in all. May there be fulfillment in all. May there be auspiciousness in all. Peace, peace, peace.
Thank you so much.
It was so lovely.
Thank you
Thank
for being here with us. I hope you will join us next time. I hope this was helpful.
It's always helpful for me, and thank
Yeah.
you guys for coming. I'm glad we had so many new people this time, and don't forget, if you need just like a little moment and maybe you can't create that moment on your own, you can always come back and watch a replay of one of these. This will
Yeah.
be the 7th one,
Exactly.
and it's pretty much just this chatting, and it always ends with a beautiful chant with beautiful thoughts for us to take out into the world with us.
Yep.
Do you have anything else you want to say, Sangeeta?
Thank you. Be well.
Oh, you too. Thank you so
too.
much.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.